Hey everyone, welcome back. I gotta say, I've been spending way too much time lately geeking out on all this AI stuff, especially these large language models that seem to be popping up everywhere.
It is a fascinating time to be following this tech.
Seriously, it
Yeah.
feels like every day there's something new to explore, and we're all pretty familiar with ChatGPT at this point.
Right. It's been making headlines for a while.
Exactly. But there's a new player in town that's really caught my eye, Google's Gemini. And that's what we're diving deep into today.
Sounds good.
We're going to try to answer the question everyone's asking. Gemini or ChatGPT? Which one should you be using? And to help us unpack all this, we're turning to a recent Backlinko article that breaks down the key differences between these two AI powerhouses.
All right, let's jump in.
So the Backlinko article kicks things off by talking about availability. And right out of the gate, there's a pretty big difference. Gemini is currently only available through Google's paid subscription service, Gemini Pro. But ChatGPT, they're playing a different game. They've got both free and paid plans. So what do you think about that? Is Google making a mistake by keeping Gemini locked behind a paywall?
Well, it's a bit early to say. You could argue that limiting access might help them control the quality, refine things a bit more before opening it up to the masses.
Yeah, like a beta test with a built-in filter for serious users.
Exactly. On the other hand, it could slow down adoption. People love free stuff, and if they can get similar functionality from ChatGPT without opening their wallets.
They might just stick with what they know.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how that strategy plays out for Google in the long run.
Okay, so let's get to the really fun stuff, the features. And the Backlinko article dives deep here. But honestly, the thing that just blew my mind was Gemini's multimodality. I mean, what does that even mean? It sounds like something out of Star Trek.
It's pretty wild. Basically, it means that Gemini can handle more than just text. It can understand and generate different types of content, text, code, images, audio, video, you name it.
Whoa, hold on. So you're saying I could give Gemini a prompt like, create a presentation about the history of flight, and it would not only write the text, but also make the slides, find relevant images and videos, maybe even add some background music.
Potentially, yeah. It's still early days, but that's the direction things are heading. That kind of multimodal capability could be a game changer for creative work, education, you name it.
No kidding. That's a whole other level of AI assistance.
Right. ChatGPT, it's primarily focused on text-based tasks. It excels at writing different kinds of creative content, translating languages, summarizing articles, stuff like that.
So if you're a writer, a student, a researcher,
Yeah.
ChatGPT is still an incredibly powerful tool.
Oh, absolutely. It's just that Gemini's trying to push the boundaries even further by incorporating all these different modes of content.
Okay, so both sound pretty amazing.
Mm.
But here's the question that always comes up with AI. Can we really trust it? I mean, the Backlinko article mentions that both models can sometimes make mistakes, show biases. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's really important to remember these are tools and they're only as good as the data they're trained on. So if there are biases in the data, those biases can show up in the output.
That makes sense. So it's not like we can just blindly accept everything these AI models generate as gospel truth.
Right. You always have to be critical, double check the information, and consider different perspectives. It's like anything else, really. You can't just blindly trust a single source.
Okay, so let's say I'm intrigued by both of these AI models. How easy are they to actually use? The Backlinko article says both are designed to be user-friendly, but I imagine there's still a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, I mean, for basic stuff, they're both pretty intuitive. You basically just type in your request, ask a question, give a command, and the AI does its thing. It's like having a conversation.
That's good to hear. But I guess as you get into more advanced features, it might get a bit more complicated.
Probably. You might need to learn a little bit more about the specific commands, how to structure your prompts to get the results you want.
All right, so it's kind of like any software. You can pick up the basics pretty quickly, but mastering it takes a bit more time and effort.
Exactly.
And of course, the question everyone always wants to know, how much is this going to cost me? The Backlinko article breaks down the pricing for both Gemini Pro and ChatGPT Plus. But let's be real, things change so fast in the tech world, those numbers could be outdated by tomorrow.
Oh yeah, definitely. You always want to check the latest pricing on their websites before committing to anything. New features, updates, price adjustments, it all happens at lightning speed.
Makes sense. So after diving into all this, it seems like there's no easy answer to the question, which is better, Gemini or ChatGPT. It really depends on what you're looking for.
Exactly. It's about figuring out your needs, your priorities, what features are essential for you, how much are you willing to spend.
Right. And maybe even how comfortable are you with being on the cutting edge? Because it
Mhm.
seems like Gemini is pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
Absolutely. This whole field is evolving so rapidly. What we know today might be completely different a year from now. It's an exciting time to be following this technology.
For sure. And for those of you who want to explore this even further, definitely check out that Backlinko article. It's got a ton of great information. But honestly, the best way to understand these tools is to try them out for yourselves. Play around with them, experiment, see what you can create.
I agree. That's the best way to learn.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. Until next time.
See us.